All right, Andrew, hit us with that Sif Spoil theme song for this week.
It's the circle of life.
Oh, no.
And it doesn't move us at all.
Nah, Sequoia! I'm leaving because this movie's boring.
You sat through it. I'm proud of you.
Oh, of course I said. That's my job, man. Like, you know.
Yeah, but...
I don't know if I would walk out of a movie even if it wasn't my job to review it. I figure you got to give it its whole chance to tell you the whole story. And I actually didn't hate this movie until the last few minutes. Like, I disliked it all the way through, right? Like, I'm like, this is not a good movie. But I thought at least, you know, it was trying to say something. Like you said in the podcast proper, you know, that it was about something. And then it got to the end. I was like, now it's not even about something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll go into more. We've got, of course, spoilers to dive into about The Circle. This is going to be an interesting one because there's just different points I want to jump around to. I would highly recommend, again, we highly recommend that you listen to the podcast first before listening to this and that you've seen the movie before you listen to this because we
loved it.
That's right. Not just because we're going to spoil it, but because it might not make any sense to hear us jump around on this movie.
I don't know if that's an issue.
Where do you want to start, man?
I guess the beginning.
I don't know. I really don't want to work my way through this whole movie.
Okay, so what questions do you have that we can
All right, I'm going to start with my biggest
throw...
one. I'm going to start with my biggest one. My biggest one is, what was going on with her kayak trip out into the fog? Okay, this launches a central part. Was she trying to commit suicide?
I don't think so. I think that...
But can you understand how you might read that? She heard the big boat, right? And then she went after it?
I don't think she saw I think it was one of those disorienting things, like, because, you know, in the bay, everything echoes around you, so you hear that giant foghorn, you don't know which way the boat's coming, which I never even saw the boat.
Yeah.
It just the waves came, and then she fell off the kayak.
Yeah.
And where was the boat? But I think she just went out there to get some privacy, just to get away from everything.
Oh man!
Just because there's no lights. There's the fog. I'm reading into this way too much, probably.
Yeah. But
you have to. And then she's like, okay, there's no lights. I don't have to deal with anything. I'm just going to sit here in the silence. And then, yeah.
I didn't know what was going on. I really thought she was like trying to kill herself. Like she was so distraught over what, you know, the company was doing and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know.
Here's a question for you. Until they said Mercer was her friend, did you know who he was?
No. When they said Mercer, I thought it was John Boyega's character.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the thing. I don't know who any of these people. You didn't do a good enough job at like me caring about these people at all.
At first, I thought he was a boyfriend. Then I thought he was the brother.
Right.
Then I thought, oh, he's just a friend.
Yeah. It was crazy. And the fact that she posted one picture of his antler artwork.
Yeah.
And everybody at the circle. Not only, like, you know, don't like him because maybe he kills deer or whatever, but they gather around them with their cell phones and taunt him.
Like they're crazy journalists.
Right.
Like they're Inquirer journalists. Like they're a paparazzi. They turn into paparazzi.
None of that felt real.
Yeah.
Like, that is not real human interaction. People don't do those kind of things.
Here's the part of the movie that made me so mad. Is the part whenever they're hunting down the killer lady.
Uh-huh.
And Emma Watson is shouting at the people, don't let her get away. They're not police. Don't tell random strangers to chase murderers.
Yeah. This movie tries to deal with some... I'm going to be honest with you during the Sif Spoil. I apologize. This may be one of the most random Sif Spoils we've ever done because there's two things battling within me. Number one, I really don't want to talk about this movie much more. It's that bad.
Yeah.
Number two, I don't think I understand this movie enough to really, you know, talk about the spoilers a lot. One of the things that's throughout this movie are all these different ideas of what our technological culture can mean. And because of that, you're dealing with, all right, are they talking about privacy? Are they talking about, do you remember Ed TV? Was it Ed TV? It's basically what's going on here in the second half of this movie is, you know, she decides she's going to live a quote-unquote transparent life. And so everything she does is filmed with her knowledge. The only way it's different than The Truman Show is in The Truman Show is without his knowledge.
Yeah.
But it's dealing with those kind of issues of a transparent life. So does the movie want to deal with that? Or does it want to deal with the idea of owning government officials?
Yeah.
Does it want to deal with the idea of surveillance? Does it want to deal...
That's what I thought it was going to be, with surveillance and no privacy anymore.
Yeah.
But
it's just so hard because it's just all over all these different things.
This movie tried so hard to be Black Mirror, and it failed so hard.
Oh, that's a great point.
It's tried so hard to be Black Mirror, and it failed miserably.
This is the poorly made version of what a Black Mirror episode would be like. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Here's the thing.
Oh, that's such a great point, Andrew, because you think of those Black Mirror episodes, and they're so focused and clear, and you know exactly what they're saying.
They're relevant.
And they're relevant, and you know why they're talking about technology and the way they're talking about technology. No. This is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to steal that for my review. Just so you know. I'm making that point in my review.
Yeah. So, here's another thing I hate about this movie, is the fact that Emma Watson makes choices in this movie no rational human would make. And I almost laughed at a part in this movie.
Which one was it?
So after Mercer, we're not going to tell the story. Mercer dies. So she goes back home.
Her friend drives off a bridge.
Yeah.
Because he's being chased by people that she incited somehow.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. So after Mercer dies, she says to her parents, I have to go back. I can fix this. And then she says something that was so dumb that I almost laughed out loud. She said, I'm the only one who can fix this. What do? You don't do anything there. You work customer support. What can you do to fix this?
Nothing. No.
So she gets back there and she talks to Pointless Boyega, and I don't even know, was Boyega the founder of this company?
He invented True You, or whatever it was that,
it was just a software that Circle used? Okay.
Yeah, and there's this whole thing in the movie that they're talking about making people vote, like requiring people to vote.
That's illegal?
Yeah, right. No, it's also only touched on for like 5 minutes, and it's not a part of the story at all. Like, the movie doesn't understand what it wants to be about.
How can nobody in those boardroom meetings, or anybody, they tried to turn the Circle into this radical cult that made no sense. Nobody will have that much power who is that insane.
And that's what I meant when I said it feels like, cult propaganda. It feels like they're trying to trump up a straw man that doesn't exist because they want to make a point about something. Yeah. Which again is why it's so confusing that it completely doesn't make that point at the end.
Yeah.
It's craziness.
This movie's so bad.
All right, let's talk about how it shifts things at the end. So the entire movie, you think they're propaganda against big corporations, seeing everything, using technology
Eagle eye stuff.
to get data, those kind of things. And then at the end, I think they're saying, well, it's okay, it's good for those things to exist as long as the right person is in charge of them.
And what qualifies Emma Watson to be the right person?
What qualifies anybody to be the right person?
That's a better question. That's a better question.
That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna deal with this stuff, really deal with it. That's it spends the whole time making you think technology is evil, and then at the end it's like, no, this is amazing. We're just gonna save life. Like, the whole last scene is a bunch of screens of different amazing things happening because of technology.
Yeah. Whenever she leaves through the auditorium, I'm thinking the Circle's going to be shut down.
Also, you'd never be able to see her on stage by cell phone light. It doesn't even matter if it's 100 cell phones. That was ridiculous. Yeah.
And she's a terrible, spokesman. She's really, really bad.
Yeah.
And then she leaves, and then she's on the kayak, and all of a sudden some drones come down and are in her face, and instead of being like, get out of my face, she's like, hello! And then the movie ends!
It's weird. It's just,
honestly, this sounds crazy, but I swear I thought this was going to happen. I thought she was going to take the kayak paddle and start swatting those drones out of the sky.
Like Hunger Games style? Like she'd go all Katniss on them or something?
Yeah, I honestly thought, but no, hello! Boy,
well, because now she even says that in her speech. I'm going to use this technology for good, kind of thing. And I'm like,
because I'm customer support, I know what's up.
Oh, this movie is so bad. I really don't want to talk about it much more. I guess I did promise I'd talk about some of those like text like comments.
Yeah. So you were able to read some of those, and you said that some of them were actually kind of profound.
I really loved reading some of those comments. For instance, there's section in the movie where she accidentally sees her parents having sex, and her dad has MS, so it's kind of this very intimate, thing where their sexual relationship is different than most people's sexual relationship.
Yeah,
and some of the comments, were the typical things you would see in comments like "oops" and "uh-oh," wonder if her parents will talk to her, those kind of things.
Yeah.
And then there was one that said, I haven't been touched in, 13 months or, something like that, or nobody has ever loved me enough to touch me or something like that.
Huh.
And I'm just like, there's stuff like that, because as somebody who lives in an environment where people do comment on the things that we do, it just felt real to me. Like, you'll see this weird thing when you're both public and separated, but at the same time feels like a relationship with your audience. There's this interesting intimacy that happens even though you've never really met a lot of these people. So I just found a lot of that stuff really engaging, and there were several examples of that if you watch the movie and really read those comments of things that I just felt were interesting like that. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. And what I'm about to say is going to sound egotistical, and I totally don't mean it to be. But you and I, we're kind of in the public eye, we put ourselves out there. I think that people who do that, we value privacy more than a lot of other people because we understand kind of, the difference, between like, hey, this is me on camera. Whenever I turn those cameras off, I do everything I can to make sure that everything I do from that point on is my own.
Uh-huh.
I want Andrew's time to be Andrew's time, and I want Flick Freaks to be Flick Freaks time.
Yeah. Now, that's not saying you're a different person.
No,
when you turn the camera off.
I try and be as genuine as possible, but at the same time, I don't want the whole full transparency thing that this movie's trying to...
See, that could be a good movie about the battle between privacy and transparency. Yeah. That's a real battle we all have. And if this movie had found a way to nuance that and to understand the complexities of that might have been interesting.
There's a quote in the movie that made no sense to me. Secrets are lies.
Right?
They're not lies. They're secrets. Just because...
But this was the part of the movie where they were trying to portray technology as manipulative and stupid and, that kind of thing. And here's the thing. No audience is going to be reacting the way this audience is reacting to the stuff that's this stupid.
No.
Or evil in some cases.
Yeah. And then when did Karen Gillan's character decide, oh, nope, this isn't for me anymore. I know this is a bad corporation now.
Another great point. Her character just went straight from, I love this place, I'm the best at this place.
She's wearing pantsuits and everything, and then the next scene, her hair's down, she's wearing a hoodie. This
basically wearing like a potato bag.
Yeah. Why? What? Man, this movie's so bad.
I don't know what happened. I really, there's got to be a story somewhere about like scenes getting cut out or edits that happened, or it's rough.
Aaron, I don't know. I'm not going to force you to talk about this movie anymore.
Thank you.
Because it is up to me, as everybody knows.
Did you have anything else you wanted to mention from it? I mean, again, the Mercer thing is something I wanted to talk about. Her friend that ended up dying because of her.
Yeah.
And
isn't that the guy from Boyhood?
That's what I did want to talk about that and how bad of an actor he is.
Yeah.
And I apologize, but as bad as everybody is in this,
he has no facial expression.
He does not have any facial expressions, and it would be nice if somebody you started filming as a child for a special project, for Richard Linklater actually turned into a great actor, but I just don't think he has.
Yeah.
And, I think things I'm sure he's great at a bunch of stuff, but it just doesn't seem like acting's his thing.
Yeah. Well, if this was the first Tom Hanks movie I ever saw, I wouldn't think he was a great actor. If I saw any of these people, and this was the first time I'd ever seen them on screen...
I think you'd still get Hank's charisma, though.
Really?
Yeah, I think he still lights up a screen.
I thought he was trying to lay it on way too thick, like, I'm Steve Jobs. Look at me in my turtleneck.
I'm not saying it was a great performance. I'm just saying it was a one-dimensional written character that didn't have much depth to it at all, but that he still is his charismatic self.
I didn't buy that.
But even he couldn't sell it.
Even then, I didn't buy that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
No, I'm with you. I'm just trying to be an optimist.
Because we love Hank so much.
We do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll watch the David S. Pumpkins movie before I watch a sequel to The Circle.
I'd watch the 4th sequel to David S. Pumpkins. Yes, I like Beauty and the Beast a little bit more. Just a little.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Just a little.
Thanks for tuning in to the Spoiler Cast. We will be back next week to spoil Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which probably will be like, a 3-hour Siftpop and, a 2-hour Sift spoil. So be ready for a full day of recording.
All right. Bye. All right.